1. Bats to Rats.
Dinner and a movie? You've done that. Arbor Axe House has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2, plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arboraxe.com. Arbor Axe House, on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hey, Nebraska, this is your moment. Love Nebraska is already making noise on the court, but they're still missing one thing, a nickname. That's where you come in. Love Nebraska is giving fans the chance to submit the team's official nickname. Fans will then vote on the finalists later this season. Head to lovbneb.com/nameyourteam to submit your nickname and get in the game. Submissions end on February 22nd. Name your team, shape the legacy.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out a brand new 2026 Ford Explorer for only $39,995. That's right, under $40,000 for a brand new Explorer, loaded with extras like Copilot 360, second row captain's chairs, and more. With approved credit, receive financing as low as 2.9%. Treat mom to a new Explorer for Valentine's Day this year from Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect. MSRP $45,175.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. February's cream cheese flavor is white chocolate raspberry. Pair it with a strawberry cold foam. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
If you become ill or injured at work and need an experienced attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court, protect your rights and freedom to get you the best possible results for your case and the justice you deserve. Trust your rights and freedom to Liberty Law Group. Attorneys serving Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
This is Nick Wyman with your sports update. Number 7 ranked Nebraska basketball suffered an 80-77 loss in overtime to number 13 Purdue Tuesday night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. After trailing by as many as 22 points, the Cornhuskers rallied to overcome that deficit to force overtime. However, the Boilermakers escaped with a conference victory from Lincoln. Nebraska's offense was fueled by Rink Mass with 18 points. Nebraska fell to 21-3 on the season and plays next this Saturday against Northwestern, with tip-off set for noon Central Time and can be seen on the Big Ten Network. Nebraska softball is back in action on Thursday in Clearwater, Florida at the Shriners Children's Invitational. Huskers battle number 12 LSU to open tournament play on Thursday, February 12th, with first pitch scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time. The game between Nebraska and LSU can be seen on ESPN2. Later that day, the Cornhuskers face number 20 Georgia, with that game scheduled to take place at 3 p.m. Central Time on ESPN+. Nebraska Athletics announced Wednesday that the Nebraska spring game will be played on Saturday, March 28th, with kickoff set for 11 a.m. Inter-squad scrimmage at Memorial Stadium will cap off spring practice for head coach Matt Rill's 4th Husker team. Nebraska begins spring practice with the first of 15 workouts on Saturday, February 21st. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here at 92.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've got used to one segment of Good Takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of Good Takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome in, Raff's Good Take on Sports. You guys are always welcome to join in via the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Always welcome. We'd love to get you guys the thoughts and opinions. We got Chris Raff, the host is always down there in Alabama. I'm Harrison Arns in Lincoln, 93.7 Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street. And the weather's still nice, so I'm not complaining. I'm loving life. Raff, how you doing on Wednesday night?
Not too bad, not too bad. Halfway through the week. Making our way quickly, fast.
This week has felt fast.
It's
been screaming down the line.
So, yeah, ready for another Nebraska basketball game on Saturday. Getting ready for that. And, just living the dream. And then I just heard Nebraska spring game at 11 a.m. kickoff. Oh, man, that's early.
Yeah, it's pretty early. That's all right for me, though, because it gives me the rest of my day. Because we will, of course, be working that day, as always, providing coverage. But at least it's a spring game. We talked about that before.
So do you think the reason for that 11 a.m. kickoff is for potential grade 8 games?
I think they are maybe putting that early and they're going to add more to it. I'm not sure at all what the idea is behind it, but typically it's been like what 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon when they have these spring games, or maybe that's too late.
Yeah, usually 1.
Okay, yeah, but 11 a.m. is an interesting time slot to pick. But we know Nebraska fans will. Well, maybe that might be a fair question. What does the spring game look like this year? Because do we go back to what it used to be? Obviously, after COVID, it took a hit, but the numbers were still pretty good. Do we still see a pretty lacking crowd attendance despite having the old spring game back with kind of how this last season went?
I'm thinking you'll probably see a drop in attendance no matter what the game is. I think because I look at it like this, it's like it's 11 a.m. kickoff. It's like, to me, it's like if you're trying to spread the game, to like spring games usually like the price efficient way where you can take your family to the spring game, take
Right.
the entire family and get in, fairly, not spending a lot of money. Well, you're kind of taking that out of the hands of like those people that are way out in western Nebraska, or not way out, but like the Kearney, the Grand Islands, the places like that. I mean, that means to get to the game, you're potentially having to get up at like 6 or leaving at 6 in the morning just to, if you want to get down and sample. I'm sure downtown Lincoln has probably got their fingers crossed thinking, okay, hopefully Nebraska can make a run to the grade 8 or something like that to keep those, establishments, busy all day, because the 11 a.m. kickoff, you're not going to really do much, partaking, going to those establishments earlier in the day. Usually like 2:30 kickoff works out great because those establishments get that pre 2:30 crowd, and then afterwards they get, the remnants of after the game. That 11 a.m. kickoff, you don't really get much. I'm thinking more from the city, how much money you can make, having fans coming down for that game. But I guess 11 a.m. maybe they're looking forward to, the grade 8 games, and hopefully potentially Nebraska can find its way into the grade 8. Man, that's crazy. We haven't even won a tournament game and talking about let's get to the grade 8. Don't worry about the spring game. We're good.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible. Not a problem this program's ever had to really examine, but it is a good and great problem to have. I don't know. I mean, if you get to the Elite 8, that's unreal. But
I got to work on my terminology.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Raff. When you first asked me that question, I just kind of like talked about something else because like I don't know what he's talking about. But then you kept saying it, and I was like, oh, Elite 8, March Madness. I get what you're talking about now. But yeah, I mean, I curious. 402-464-5685 at 11 a.m. spring game kickoff. Would you guys go to it? Are you planning to go to it with that announcement? Are you really looking forward to it, or is it kind of taking a toll and maybe you're not as interested? Because I know, to your point, Raff, a lot of those small town folks might see that time and be like, boy, I don't want to be getting up at like 6 a.m. and making a trek, or if you're really far away, coming all the way from western Nebraska just to go watch a Husker spring game. It's like maybe we can make an event out of it, but I don't know how much that's going to sell. It could very well be just for the Elite 8, and I think that's smart to have it earlier. I don't know what the official reason is, but I am more than curious to see what that attendance looks like. Let's see. Interesting. Don chimes in here. So speaking of Nebraska football, the NSAA homepage was crashed today due to the release for the high school football schedules. And we got one off of YouTube as well. We got the Go Big Red Captain. Shout out to him. Big time Tick Weeknight listener. Also, I think he listens to a lot of day shows as well.
Yes, he does.
Is UNL having a softball or baseball game afterwards? He said, I loved having the red-white game being back. I don't know if that's been announced yet, Raff. Have you seen any more details on, are they going to do more of, I know, I think they did soccer and a few others, volleyball. Are they going to incorporate some other sports?
I would assume that would be their plan. However, Nebraska, possibly, God, you hate thinking that far ahead, but they probably have an eye out if Nebraska somehow would make the Elite 8 in basketball, that they'd want to leave it open. But you'd think that they would link some other sports, like a baseball game or a softball game, or to make it as fan friendly of a day in Lincoln, maybe even the volleyball team, playing the scrimmage or something like that. Everything happening on that same day and just make it a big celebrate Nebraska day and just make a complete day of it. If that's the plan, and if they're going to have the other sports playing, a baseball game after or volleyball game afterwards, then then the 11 a.m. kickoff, I'm good with that. But I guess Nebraska football, I'm going to be honest. It's just like that excitement, that Nebraska football excitement that usually that we have in the off seasons, like looking so forward to the next season to get here. I feel like that these other sports teams that are making their run, men's basketball, it's just like, it just seems like everybody's so focused on men's basketball right now. We get a new safeties coach, and there's barely, there's mention of him, but there's very little mention of, us hiring a new safeties coach, Tyler Yelk, I believe. So it's just, it's a weird state, I think, for Nebraska right now, just being that I know Nebraska football is still the bell cow of Nebraska. However, the excitement level, I just don't think is great just because of what the other sports are doing.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, right? Like we're looking here. There is a buzz for baseball, obvious reasons. Back-to-back Big Ten champs. They announced Ty Horn, and Ty Horn put some stuff on the Big Ten tournament last year and really had some incredible performance. That's how you beat the likes of UCLA and Oregon, is you have Ty Horn out there really throwing some heat and doing it with a ton of accuracy. And he's got multiple pitches he can throw at you. And alongside that, I think it was Overbeek who was having a hell of a run in that Big Ten tournament. I want to say that was back-to-back years. Overbeek kind of was a monster in that. So despite just barely being over 500, they made it count when it mattered most, which I hate picking on football the way I always seem to do now. I'm rooting for them. I believe me when I say this. When it matters most, we can't say the same thing about Husker football, at least in these past 10 years at the very least.
Well, I just get the feeling now, it's to the point now, it's like, show us something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's time Nebraska football. You've got to show us something, like the defense coordinator transitions, the offense coordinator transitions, the special teams transitions. It's like, okay, year 4, it's time to show us something. Like, we want to see a step taken forward, because I feel like this past year there was really no step. I feel like we kind of remained in neutral this year, and it's like, okay, now it's time. We need to see something, and I don't think that's a bad thing to ask, but I feel I hate saying it, because Nebraska football has been, pretty much my life for 51 years, almost 52 years at Nebraska football. Tom Osborne, everything, and it's like, is there a little bit of apathy setting in? And I've never thought I'd see that day, but I feel that Nebraska fans are to that point where it's like, there needs to be something. There needs to be more. It's time to be more. If you're going to be kicking in all this money and all this, and the best facilities in the country, everything's top notch. If you're going to have everything top notch, it's time to field a top notch football team.
Well, we said, unfortunately, the conversation gets more and more comfortable as the years goes on here. Are we a blue blood? I think yes, but that line gets grayer and grayer and grayer the more we lose, where we have completely slipped in terms of programs with the most wins in college football history. We were firmly in that upper echelon. Now I think we're down to 8. So we're still in that park, right? But you have the national championships in that era to back it up. But if people were to just take a snapshot of after Bo Pelini got fired, this looks like a bottom of the barrel program. That's just being honest with the wins totals that these guys have had. Now, 2 years bowling, that's great. That's great for Nebraska. We needed that. That is nothing to belittle, because we'll get into it, right, with the Bill Moose interviews and the book. Maybe this place was in bigger shambles than anybody ever realized, but also that's where you give Matt Rule some credit, right? Because that was that bad. But now if we're going to be a blue blood, that just can't be it. To your point, that should be the bottom lowest expectation if we're really going to sit here and call ourselves blue bloods. And maybe we're a blue blood being revamped, but how long can you be a blue blood being revamped before you're not even that blue blood anymore? I mean, it's been years and years and years of trying to be part of the national conversation, and it dies out, the longer the season goes on.
Well, another thing too about that you said about, Matt Rule and stuff is like, I guess one of the biggest questions I have with all the Bill Moose, talk that went on today is it still?
Right? That's what scared me the most.
I mean, that when hearing him talk and stuff like that, I'm like, is it still like that? I mean, are there too many cooks in the kitchen? Who's all, like he made mention. He said Jim Pillen was one of the regions that came in. Well, now he's the governor. So my first question is, well, apparently, if he's the governor, I'm guessing he probably still, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, has anything changed? I mean, who's answering to who's hiring the coaches? Who's making, does Dannon have full control? I mean, I think those are the pertinent questions that need to be asked is, has anything changed?
Raff, if you want to be an independent journalist and come down there and just start interviewing people, I would love to get to the bottom of that because, without getting into politics or anything, I don't care. Do whatever the hell you want on that end of the world. But when it comes to sports, I don't want you making any decisions in that. Where is your expertise in deciding athletic coaches? That's what kind of drove me nuts about this entire story is why do you have a say? Unless it's purely just about money, I don't get that at all. Is it great initially because of all the romance that fell with hiring Scott Frost? Like, of course it's going to be good initially, but do you really trust the long-term process? And you clearly had your AD in a different mindset, and you're going to overrule that with what information do you have to make such an overruling? And of course, this is all on Bill Moose's side. So I'm not saying I don't think he's lying, but maybe Pillen writes a book in response to this. That's not how it went down. But to your point, Raff, to me that sounds like way too many cooks in the kitchen with no direction.
Yeah. Well, my thing is too. It's like, there's always three sides to every story. One side, the other side, and the real story. And it's like, I listened to his interview today. I actually listened to it twice because I just wanted to, listen to it again. And like, even when he's talking about the hiring of Coach Frost, Scott Frost is, so where was it? Where was the talk? Like he said that he went and he talked to Chip Kelly. Well, where was that? What changed his mind? Because he never mentioned that no one took him into a room at Memorial Stadium and said, no, you cannot hire Chip Kelly right now. It's like, where was the, what turned the angle? Was it just like, I'll be honest with you, as much as people can deny it now or whatever, but the state of Nebraska was pretty much, they wanted Scott Frost to be the head coach. They did. I mean, there's no line behind that, but it's just like, but he made it sound like that Chip Kelly, that he was interested in, bringing in Chip Kelly. It's like, I guess then why didn't you stick, behind your guns if that was your choice? Because remember going back, like, my memory, sometimes I remember the craziest stuff, but what was the big thing that Bill Moose said at the press conference introducing Scott Frost? What was the one thing that really stuck out? You might not remember it, but I think I can refresh your memory at that press conference, what he said. And it's just like, well, you're just totally blowing everything out of the water, which you said. So then I'm sitting there going, how am I supposed to believe you when you were lying to Nebraska fans from the get-go?
What did he say? What am I blanking on?
The famous index card. I keep an index card in the top drawer of my desk, and the name that I had on it was Scott Frost.
That's right.
So what was that? I mean, so you were giving Nebraska fans lip service. So that's stuff I remember. And it's like, you said one thing at one time, but then you're coming back in a book and saying that, well, Chip Kelly probably was that. Scott Frost wasn't ready yet. But then you look at Nebraska in the eyes, the people that you loved so much, and you said there was an index card and that name was Scott Frost. And so it's like, what am I supposed to believe? So yeah, it's like I said, it's like there's two sides to every story. So I take it for what it is, but but when people tell me something and you're standing up there on a podium and telling me that you have your one card in your desk with your coaches and Scott Frost's name was number one on that list. So it's like, I don't know. So yeah, so it kind of irritated me a little bit just for the fact that it's like, well, you were lying to us to begin with by saying that. I mean, you never had to say that. You could have got up and said, our new coach of the University of Nebraska, Scott Frost. But you told us a story, an anecdote saying that there was an index card and at the top of that name was Scott Frost. So now when I hear this Chip Kelly stuff, I'm sort of like, okay, but you told us that. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents on that, I guess.
No, that's a great point though. And a good poll on that, because now there was a lie somewhere, whether it was in the book or it was at the podium, you lied.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. There is somewhere you got two things that are completely different, and you told us both of those things, so one of them is not true, and that's for us to figure out. And I do think it's still too many cooks in the kitchen. I think that problem is there, but going back to the Scott Frost thing, it's ironic with the spring game coming up here, Raff. I know before I said, what do you think the attendance would be? So last year was terrible. Just gonna say it flat out. I think did we get to 10,000 even? I think it was like 8,000 people.
Yeah, it was like maybe 10,000. It was right because it was just the games or whatever, the Husker games.
Well, going backwards, so Matt Rule's first year, and again, COVID really hurt this. So this is part of the problem. 66,000 fans, which is an actual spring game, which was still a really good attendance.
That's really good. That's amazing.
And then during COVID, you still got 36,000 because you could only have 50% attendance. And then in 2019, we have 85,000, close to 86,000 people in there. And what do you think the record year was for Nebraska football spring game attendance, Raff?
Probably Scott Frost's first year.
2018, the Scott Frost hiring. And so clearly there was a lot of buzz around that. So I get with Bill Moose, there's a ton of pressure to hire Scott Frost, but it doesn't mean you have to outright lie. So
then also too, another thing that in the interview, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just stuff that I hear him talk. Like he spoke about Matt Davison and like the comment about him talking about his catch or whatever. I've hung out with Matt Davison for 20 plus years. Matt Davison never talks about the catch. Do people come up to him and ask him about it? Of course. But I've never once heard Matt Davison say, hey, guys, remember that catch I had in Missouri? I've never heard that. So when he's like, you can listen to Matt Davison talk about the catch 14 times a day, I'm just like, don't say it. That's not true. And then he goes, he talks about meeting him in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And how Scott Frost and was it Jared came in and they had their sweats on and unshaven and stuff like that. Well, if I remember, that was kind of under the cloak of darkness meeting. So if I'm Scott Frost, you're probably not going to see me shaven in a suit because wouldn't that be a red flag telling your fans and stuff saying, why is Scott shaved? And why is, we just saw Scott Frost wearing a suit in Philadelphia, so I thought that meeting was a low profile meeting. So I understood why they would have probably came in sweats and unshaven because they didn't want to, show the, but I don't know. I just looking back on some of that stuff, it's just like, it was a secret meeting. So if you're going to secret, you can't switch things up, but hey, wild world we lived in.
Yeah. Let's get to a couple texts here. And these are good points. Unknown texter 8985 says it made for a good soundbite. And then to attach to that point, we got the other Bill chiming in here saying, Raff, I think the big thing was he had to sell it. He had to make it look like it was his decision. Yeah, not necessarily agreeing with it either, but sometimes politics are politics. Yeah. The other Bill. So, you had to sell it, but did you have to sell it is kind of where I land because again, that's why I brought up the spring game attendance. Again, it's been announced 11 a.m. That would be start time for it. The excitement was there. You didn't have to sell it at all. I don't think people would not have looked into that if he, like I said, if it was for a good soundbite, whatever. I don't agree with it, but he didn't have to sell that at all. I mean, he could have just said, announce the coach and been like, Scott Frost, the new head coach. We look forward to yada, yada, successful, the former, there was enough things there that you didn't have to make any sort of lies or conjure up a good soundbite. Like it was going to sell. And I remember that introductory press conference, the amount of people watching it. I mean, they're fired up. You know, I understand it. You got some emotional ties to it. You think Nebraska is going to finally be back, but it was sold already with that hire. If he would have had Chip Kelly, I think he would have had to said a good soundbite to really sell, like, this is why I went the direction. That's one you do have to sell. But in the era of good sound bites, maybe some of these texters are right, where it's not the worst thing in the world, but it does rub me wrong a little bit the wrong way. But at the same time, I appreciate the Fred Hoiberg hire. That one worked out pretty well. So it's not like Bill Moose was just whiffing left and right, because he definitely nailed that one.
Well, that one was kind of funny, you know, that you would even bring up the Dana Altman part. I think I would have just left that one out of the book and just been like, yeah, I was full bore on Fred Hoiberg. I know he struggled the first couple of years, but then I'd be taking all the roses there. I'd be like, that index card, it had one name, Fred Hoiberg. That's it. Especially right now, because Nebraska wins that first, tournament game, he can sit back and be like, I was the AD. But now people are going to look at it and be like, but didn't you want Dana Altman before? But just.
He was probably right. He was probably right in the book. And then as it was kind of already done and it was going through the publishers, all of a sudden he looked up and he's like, oh, Huskers 20-0. Crap, that thing's already out and on the shelves. I can't go back and take it out now. He probably had it written already. But no, all jokes aside, I have no idea there. But hey, at least he was honest in that part. We'll throw out the break here. This is Raff's Good Take on Sports. 93.7 The Ticket. Appreciate you guys chiming in. You can continue to do so. 402-464-5685. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Blake Farm Outfitters, and we're all about equipping the modern farmer. Our team is Nebraska's go-to for precision planting, SurePoint liquid systems, Green Eye Spot Spray, and more. So whether you're considering an equipment upgrade, adding new tech, or just need a trained eye to service what you have, check us out. Creep on us at BlakeFarmOutfitters.com and get connected with our team of experts. We're excited to help you find what's next. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket, with all the good takes you need. Here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Raff, there's a really good golfer, and his last name is Woods. And I'll tell you what. I'll let you break the news, but I was going through some of his numbers when he sent those notes in. This university's got an absolute dude, a guy that we've seen on the come up for a while, but nonetheless, Charlie Woods will be heading to the Seminoles. Raff, your thoughts?
The first thing I thought when I saw this was, what was the attendance for Florida State golf in the past 10 years? And what the boom is going to be when I believe 2027 enrollee, what the boom of Florida State golf will be. I mean, you'll probably have PGA type crowds coming out to watch him play, not just to watch him play, because I mean, he looks a lot like his father out there on the golf course, but you're also probably going to have his dad out there in attendance, and people have a way of congregating around Tiger Woods and the Woods family. So I'm seeing this as a boom for, like they talked about how Florida State lost a lot of money in their football program. Yeah. This golf program might be being the positive when it's all said and done, because of all the people that they're going to attract just to see Charlie Woods play, and also have that opportunity to see, Tiger Woods out following his son around, because I would assume that Tiger's going to probably be at a lot of his matches that he competes in. So yeah, Florida State, they got one heck of a good recruit. Plus, they definitely are going to be able to probably make some decent money on the side, having him playing with tickets. And I guess, do they charge for tickets at NCAA golf? I'm not even sure if they do that. But if I'm Florida State, I'm thinking we might have to create some season ticket packages for golf, because that's definitely going to be a possible moneymaker for them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a huge moneymaker for him. I don't know what they're charging, but they'll crank it up now. Like whatever it is. Charlie Woods is an absolute stud. Anyone who's kind of watched his development, like just for reference, at the Team TaylorMade Invitational, that was not too far back, he was an absolute menace. He shot 6 under and had 8 birdies. Like, that is unreal. And he's got multiple turns. You can go through his track record. He's an absolute stud. And even if you want to say there's better golfers out there, to your point, the name's going to draw numbers like crazy. Like
Oh,
if I was out there, I would love to go watch it. Like just go see Tiger and Charlie Woods out there. This might be the best thing to happen in golf in a long time. This bring a lot of buzz and excitement back to it, especially with live golf and the PGA and that kind of just back and forth. Like I think it turned a lot of people off to like, what is this all about? I just want to see the best golfers going at it. And then when you watch the live, there was some good golfers, and then there was kind of a lot of felt like filler where you weren't really looking at the entire field the same way you were with the PGA. And then there was the drama with if you go to live, you're not allowed back. And now they've kind of squashed that. And now you get this as well, which we knew was going to happen eventually. But now that it's finally here, this is great for the sport of golf. I think it's going to add a big charge to it and really kind of bring back people's eyes. And I think for the first time, really bring people's eyes collegiately. I know people watch college golf, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see, some of their matches on major broadcast channels, like especially that first one. I'll be curious.
Well, here's the issue that they will have though, is what is Charlie's plans or what are his goals? Like you see, just about every year at the Masters, they have an amateur. He's the low am, and then the very next day he's like declares himself to become a pro. So is this going to be one of those things for Charlie? Is he going to play 1 year at Florida State and then, because he's going to get some sponsor exemptions to play in PGA Tour events because the name, let's just say, it's Charlie Woods. And if you have the opportunity to have Charlie Woods and Tiger Woods in the same tournament, people are going to be sponsors are going to be all over that. So will he be a one and done at Florida State? Will he spend 2 years there? How long will he spend there before he decides that, hey, he's ready to become, a pro full time? So that'll be, but like you said, that'll be huge for the game, college golf, because usually you don't really hear, great college golfers, or you don't hear their name. Like you remember Tiger Woods at Stanford. I mean, this has that same effect, I think, having, Charlie Woods at Florida State. So it's going to be a fun, couple years to watch and see how long he'll be there for before he decides to declare himself as a professional, because I think that is something I'm sure that him and Tiger both have their eyes on, because it's almost like LeBron and Bronny. It's like, I'm sure Tiger wants to play in a PGA tournament with his son. I think that'd be, really cool. I could see it now, a Sunday grouping, Tiger versus Charlie. Wouldn't that be one for the ratings books?
Yeah, and you feel better about this one too. I got nothing against Bronny. I think what they did is historic. I'm not going to say it's lame. I mean, if I was the dad and I could play with my son in the NBA, that's absolutely incredible. But I will say with Charlie Woods, like just the eye test, you don't know for sure, right? But the eye test says like, whoa, this ripple effect or not ripple effect, like the impact that this could have could be really overwhelming in a great way.
Yeah, it's big for the game of golf. It's big for college golf. So it should be fun years. I'm sure college golf's looking forward to it. I know Florida State's looking forward to it, because they probably went from walk up for free to now they'll probably have to start lining it off and getting some cash money in there for that program. And they'll bring it. And I wonder too, what kind of NIL deals Charlie Woods was offered to go to Florida State. That'd be another one. I'd be curious to see how much he'll be making.
I don't know what it looks like in a sport like that, because with football, it's a money-making sport, right? So you're not really worried about catching your revenue back. You don't want to overpay. But with golf, like, is that enough to outweigh the entire cost of the team traveling? And he's definitely getting a nice deal, right? Don't get me wrong. But I'm curious to how big that number is, because he's got to be big enough to make that entire team a big revenue sport. And I'd imagine they probably come at a deficit every year with all the travel they have to do and the courses and everything like that. So I'd be curious. I don't know what the golf NIL numbers look like, but his is probably groundbreaking.
Well, I'm also curious to know too, is Tiger's got his Sunday red, his clothing, and will Florida State be sponsored by Sunday Red, or if they've already got a contract in place? Or because I would think that Tiger would want Charlie wearing his Sunday Red, attire. So it'll be, it's a good time. If you're a golfer at Florida State right now, you got to be smiling, because I think it's going to rain down, not just on Charlie, but it'll rain down on the rest of the players on that team.
Oh, 100%. And you can, you're going to have Tiger Woods showing up probably around your facilities. Like, not a bad deal. Again, that's kind of the best golfer you can have in his direction. And not that Tiger Woods is going to be coaching, but he's just going to be around and having, the GOAT right there. Not bad. And he can still swing. He can still drive that ball. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Do you think we'll see it on a major network?
I think there's a good possibility if there's a chance to have Charlie Woods playing golf in college. I think there'll be a great possibility of seeing it on a major network because they bring Tiger Woods, Charlie Woods. They bring eyes. Like when they play in the father-son tournament, they didn't play this past year due to Tiger being injured, but the previous years, that was must-watch TV to watch Charlie and Tiger play and just watch the progression of Charlie, just how much taller and bigger that he's got over like the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's been pretty incredible. And so, yeah, I think you'll see it on a major network before it's all said and done if he sticks in college there.
I hope so. Cause like I said, I'll definitely watch. I'm excited for that. The LeBron and Bronny thing. It's cool for him, but I think it was more of LeBron's in the NBA. He's got some sway and, listen, we don't have to keep lying to ourselves. Like, he's not that guy so far in the NBA. It doesn't mean he can't be, but if anybody's watched him, he'll get in there some garbage time. He'll have some moments every now and then, which is cool, but he doesn't have what looks like that same track where he might be one of the best, or at least in that elite category, unless he has some major development. With Charlie Woods, he's kind of like already on that scale where you're seeing his performances and he's doing the part, where he's kind of backing it up with the numbers and how good he is. Will that translate to college and then into, the PGA Tour? I'd imagine it will, because he's kind of been playing on those courses his entire lives. Like he knows what he's doing. And like I said, the eye test is there more so than it was with Bronny. I'm not saying Bronny can't be that guy for a LeBron James fan. All I'm saying is you feel a little bit more certain with this one. So I think the attention, it'll be, not only positive, but it'll just be a lot of genuine excitement. Because with the LeBron and Bronny situation, right or wrong reasons, it turned into a lot of other conversations, some positive, some negative. This one, unless drastic things happen or he just really comes out and struggles and maybe the pressure's too much, which could happen. Yeah. I think it'll be a lot of just positive stories and people will be happy to watch. You got anything left on Charlie Woods going to the Florida State Seminoles before we throw it to break?
All good.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll get Raff's good take on the other side right here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda.
Your local artists and experts in charcuterie and glazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your Graze table today at grazingouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. This is Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket, but it's time to get to Raff's Good Take just on life in general. It's beautiful. Raff, what do you got for us on February 11th on a Wednesday?
All right, everybody. Today's Ralph's Good Take is taking on a little bit of a national flavor tonight. It's going out to James Vanderbeek. Harrison, I'm not sure if you know who he is or not, but he played on Dawson's Creek. He was Dothan, played in Varsity Blues as John Moxon, one of the best high school football movies that I've seen. He passed away. Just the courage, the love, the strength, just everything that he was, especially in this last year, battling cancer, just an amazing person by all accounts, and just wanted to just give him Ralph's Good Take and just send prayers to his family and everybody right now. Just a great person. So James Vanderbeek, you are Ralph's Good Take.
Yeah, I'm remembering like some of his movies. Actually, someone, Jay, another one of our ticket producers, said that today, and I was like, why does that name sound familiar? And I had completely forgotten that he was going through that battle with cancer. And it is one of those things, like, Man, that's just tough. Anytime you get those cancer stories, it's always a tough pill to swallow. And I don't care who it is. Like my worst enemy, I don't wish that on anyone. It's such a brutal thing to go through. But he stayed pretty reserved through it. He was a great actor. I remember, ironically enough, the movie. I remember him, Scary Movie, the parody. He was in that film and many others. But yeah, he was a great actor, and I didn't obviously know the guy personally. But anytime you hear those stories, that's always a big bummer. So keep those people in mind, just anyone, especially if you know people in your life, even if it's just acquaintance, and just always check up on, make sure they're doing all right, because it's a tough battle to go through. So yeah, I'm trying to think of a good take, Raff. That one is good, but man, it's kind of a downer as well. Shout out to him. I'll just say shout out to all the ticket listeners, because that's always an easy one, kind of a scapegoat. But no, I do enjoy it. I have a lot of fun being able to talk to you guys 18 hours a day. We get to be here till midnight now, and this place is growing. We just had a nice little staff meeting again and putting things into perspective of just how far this place has truly come. And producers, the talent, everyone's got a big step in it. You even got Raff down there in Alabama streaming in, which is a huge part of it, because Raff, you got Raff's roadies. They're loyal. They never left. Despite, you not being physically in Nebraska anymore, they're still out there. So have you had anybody in Alabama notice you yet? That's like maybe from Nebraska or like comes down to Alabama. It's like, oh, hey, there's Chris Raff.
Not yet. I'm working on that. My writers, what I do is stream the ticket all day while I'm driving, so people listen in. So the other day, they had trivia on early break, and it was Super Bowl winning coaches, I believe it was. And I was just like, right when they'd say, I'm like, boom, 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 and I knocked them all out. And the guy goes, "Man, you should have called in. You could have won something." I'm like, "Well, I can't because I work for the station." So then that kicks it in. Then I tell them about, Raff's good take on sports. And the next thing I know, we have another listener. So I spread the word by listening to the ticket throughout the day. So I should be getting, some sort of residual payment or something for all the listeners that are starting to listen down here in Alabama because of me listening to 93.7 the ticket all day down here. So works out pretty good.
It is great coverage. I mean, between you and Pete Ferguson, you're the two guys kind of keeping us local and spread wide throughout, not just the country, but then you got Pete's crew. It's like you got people in Africa, people in Europe, you got people all over the country listening. So it is always kind of cool. It would be funny if you called it an early break, though, and just to say you have different Chris and just don't use your last name in there. They'd probably still give it to you. They'd save it up, and next time you come to Lincoln, you can go ahead and accept your Bagels and Joe coffee or I said, man, it's been forever since I've been the early break intern. I think it's a bagel and a coffee or a business box of bagels, if I remember correctly here.
He knew I meant business when they said who was the winner of like the 1980 Super Bowl, and I was like Tom Flores, and he's like, John Madden? I go, nah, it's Tom Flores. And the guy's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, trust me, NFL, not much gets by me. It's still trap.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you beat me in that regard, because when we start going way back in time, I'm going to be swinging wildly, just kind of hoping I land on the right answer there. But with that being said, we do got to get out of here. Appreciate it as always, Chris Raff. We will talk to you again one more time tomorrow on a Thursday, but don't go anywhere. Keeps rolling. Good morning, Pierce Snell. Up next, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.